That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
articulate and intelligent.
Greg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck that.
Ooh, terrible. Bad, not bad. Oh, pretty good. Okay, decent, fair, great. I loved it.
This sucks.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder how the stuff gets made.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card, where, in general, we don't see our relationship with Berhalter getting any better anytime soon. But, I mean, on a personal basis, I think that's just fucked. Anyhow.
He's coming over to my house for a cookout this weekend.
A whatter? A cookout?
Yeah.
You invited him?
Yeah.
Did he come?
He hasn't RSVP'd yet, but I believe he will be here.
All right. I said, did he come? Giggity. All right.
Well, I let that one fall on the ground, I guess. Damn, not bad.
Yeah. One of the words of the day, by the way, I learned. We had talked about barbiguous, right? Barbiguous. That's you and I. Those are people who have beards. People who have beards are barbiguous. But there are people apparently who study people with beards and study beard styles, and they are called pogonophiles. Pogonophiles, one who loves or studies beards. Pogonophiles. Are there any pogonophiles in the crowd tonight? That's what I want to know. Sounds kind of gross, though. It's close to something else.
You add file to anything, and all of a sudden it's like
It does.
What kind of file? Say it again.
What the hell?
What are we talking about? Come on.
That's like when President Johnson was running for his congressional seat in Texas back in the 50s, late 50s or 60s. Lyndon Johnson. And he was sitting down with his campaign manager, and he said, listen, that farmer dude, his daughter went to college, and she's a thespian. So I want you to go out there and start talking about her being this thespian. And you're like, well, yeah, that's just an actor. He's like, trust me. Just keep calling her a thespian, and that guy's votes are going to go down. And it did. It worked. People didn't know the difference between a thespian and a lesbian in 1950. Lesbians, I guess, weren't cool. I guess they weren't considered cool. I know they weren't, obviously. So, yeah, he did the same thing, by the way. In another election against another farmer, and he said to his campaign staff, listen, we're going to go out there and we're going to accuse this guy of fucking his farm animals in whatever nicely worded way we can do that. We're going to imply it. And they're like, we can't do that. We have no fucking proof, Lyndon. We can't do that. And he's like, just watch him deny it. Just watch him deny it. And then it'll be like he had to deny it. Yeah. And the guy did get up and deny it. And that ruined his whole fucking campaign. If you got to get up and say, I don't fuck my pigs, you just fucked your... Anyhow, there's a whole book. Read it on Lyndon Johnson. I can't remember the name of it. It was written in the 80s, I believe. Really good book on Lyndon Johnson.
Bear fucker, do you need assistance?
That's the nasty game of politics, folks. It's been nasty for a while. Now it's just fucking... Anyhow, we won't get into it here, right? We don't do the politics here. We just don't. Yeah. We avoid it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. The turd in the background says, welcome to the Straight Red Card, motherfuckers. My wife is flicking the beam to Greg while I write amazing intros for a show that disparages me. Gio Reyna will be back with BVB. Greg won't be there. No, he won't. Probably won't.
No.
I don't see that happening. There was that guy who wrote that article. Here are the 3 things Greg needs to do now that he's been hired, and needs to do them in the next couple months. He's done none of the 3 things listed. He didn't talk to Pepi before. Before the deadline of that article. He didn't talk to Reyna before the deadline of that article, and he has not brokered any sort of discussion with John Brooks since that article. Well, we all knew about the third part, and we'll get to that later tonight. Everybody knows, right? Oh, by the way, the guy that was trying to cross from Florida to London in his giant hamster ball, he built a giant hamster ball that he could get into and walk, and it would have propellers on the side, and he was trying to go all the way to London. Well, apparently the U.S. Coastal Guard or someone pulled him over and said, hey, dude, you got no fucking license to do that. You're in bad waters. We're pulling you over. We're taking you out of the hamster wheel, and you are being arrested. I don't know why he would arrest a guy.
I guess he didn't get that far out of U.S.
I don't think he did get very far. I think you're correct.
I mean, if the Coast Guard's pulling him aside, then yeah, no, absolutely. Once he's out in international water, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Inside his hamster ball, he could have gambling.
He could do some gambling in there. I don't think he brought a laptop or anything.
Oh God, I'm gonna let's see. Arsenal's winning this week, right? Okay, $20 on Arsenal.
Wouldn't that make you sick as shit though? A whole hamster ball ride all the way to England with this ball just continuously. Like you're in a ball. Where do you put your shit?
Dude,
where do you put your phone? Where do you put your laptop? You don't have any of that stuff.
As he's progressing north, all I can imagine is some orca pod finding him and then just constantly like flicking the ball up in the air.
Flicking him around. Woo-wee, woo.
No, stop it.
Hey, some of those guys get pretty aggressive. I've seen videos of where the orcas attack that boat. And
it's a specific pod, and they're trying to figure out why that's happening. And the only thing they can figure out is that at a young age, one of them was hit by like a propeller of a boat. And at that point, communication occurred. Hey, these fucking things got to go down, you know?
Right. No, the other thing I heard was cocaine.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
Cocaine. What a hell of a drug. All right.
Mixed with
I
a
don't
little
know
bit
how
of
that
salt water.
works. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I get the bear one.
I don't know the chemistry behind that. I don't know how that works. Yeah.
You'd have to
Does that make it more potent?
Well, what I heard was a plane crash was full of cocaine. It got right into the pod where they were swimming. And they were inhaling it in and all that shit. Cocaine orca. So there we go. Orca.
Yeah.
What about a narwhal poking it? A narwhal. Is that the one with the pointy nose?
Yeah, the one with the horn coming out of this.
The pony, the pointy nose.
The pony nose, yeah.
The pony nose.
The pony nose.
Excuse me. My pronunciation is poor. All right. I've had
narwhal, swordfish, it all do the same. What about some lobsters come up and go clap, 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 you know?
Yeah, lobsters are weak. You know, I mean, people think if you put a lobster on the floor, it'll scatter around. No, the weight of its exoskeleton and its shell is so heavy. You put a lobster on the floor in your kitchen, it won't move, a live lobster, because it's too heavy. It's a creature that needs water and buoyant. It needs buoyancy to move. Anyhow, that little known fact about lobsters. Okay, they taste good. Shark goes chomp. That's that song, right? Shark goes chomp, 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 or whatever. Isn't there a shark song?
I know. Baby shark.
Baby shark.
Do.
Yeah. I'm sure you do. Thank God my kids aren't.
Dude, I avoid that song like the plague with Jackson, but then it just popped up like wildfire on every kid's show for Charlie. And
That's
then
annoying.
It became a thing.
Isn't that the same thing as like what did the fox say?
I would rather listen to that because that at least was funny.
Okay. Well, I mean, only so many times it can be funny.
We didn't know what Jackson, because Jackson actually had a "What did the fox say?" like stuffed animal that made that noise. Like, what did the fox say? Boop, 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 boop.
All right. Before we get to your junk,
yeah, that's right.
I'm going to
drink
drink
into that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that takes more drinking for me to prepare to see it. And I meant your
wide lens too.
You got a camera fixated on it.
Got a little bit of zoom action too, I guess.
Tonight I will be drinking a Leffe so I can bear the sight of Brett's junk. It is a 6.6. Here's to you, EB, for enduring all the many sights of Brick's junk over the last, what has it been? 8 years? 9 years?
We've been married for 11, been together for 15.
It's not been that long that I was at your wedding 11 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Holy fucking, I'm old.
2012. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's about the.
Yeah, it's just going on right now. Yeah. Because September. Yeah.
Yeah. But 2 years later, I was getting a divorce. How awesome is that? All right.
Woo!
You can see that inspired us to stay together. All right. Let's move on.
It inspired you guys to get married again, but different people, I guess.
No, neither of us are remarried. The horrors of our marriage have haunted us to the point where we don't want to be
in communication with whores still.
I don't have any communication with whores. It's sad, but no, I don't. And I know it's not sad. I like it. I like being alone. Like I said, there's nothing better than
it's such a nice way of sounding so sad. It's like, I love being alone.
I don't feel alone though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? When I do want to feel alone, that's when it feels the best. All right. What else we got, Brett? Let's start with your junk, as we called it.
Well, we were talking about that politician fucking animals. Let's start with animals, right?
All right.
Here we go.
But this isn't related to fucking them.
It's not fucking him.
Okay.
This would be the hardest wink ever if that's the case.
We got to keep it clean here. I shaved the dog's head. Now I can't sleep. Oh my God. That is atrocious.
Wait a second. Those ears. Look at those ears. Those like human ears.
They
are. This doesn't look right.
Yeah, there's something going on here.
They put a dog's face on a kid.
They put a dog's face on some sort of
one.
Yeah, that's
wearing
bullshit.
Some kind of costume. That's bullshit. I didn't even notice it. I'm looking at those ears. I'm like, those are not dog ears.
Yeah, those aren't dog ears. This is horse shit. File it under, throw it away.
Still nightmare fuel and all, but still, come on.
I get it, but at least be honest.
Yeah. Still creepy as shit, though. Look at that one down the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you remember the
horror film shit?
The Return to Oz movie back from like the late 80s?
Return to Oz. I'm sure it was big, but this is
it was not big. No.
Oh.
This is a cult following big, but it was not big at the time. But man, yeah, it was like, imagine Tim Burton before Tim Burton. I mean, it was probably just before Tim Burton, but I mean, it was still kind of that creepy weirdness. But the bottom left one made me think of the Wheelers in that. There's instead of the flying monkeys from the original Wizard of Oz. Now it's these creepy weird dudes like on wheels and stilts and shit. And it was fucking crazy when I saw it.
I might have seen that. I can't remember. Yeah, sounds creepy. Yeah. I mean, Burton, you know.
Well, it was before Burton. Yeah, it was before him, but still.
Yeah.
Maybe just before, I guess, but still.
Jason Gonzalez Ortega for $1.99. Thank you, brother. Soto's better than Jesus. Again. Praying my boys Hoppy, KDF, and Uli. Praying for them? You probably.
I was about to say too, it should be praying for them, yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to pray for them because Hoppy's obviously not a starter at San Jose. Conrad De La Fuente is fucked and playing in Segunda, and he's not even a regular starter for Ibar. Uli Lanez, I mean, does he play at all? I don't think so.
He's the St. Pauli kid, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
He was.
I've told you multiple times to stop talking about them because it makes no sense. But
Soto, I don't know if Soto's injured now, but he certainly hasn't stepped on the field for Klagenfurt yet this season.
Well, Spencer's saying that De La Fuente is injured.
He did get one game. Did he already get fucking injured from one game, Spencer? All I know is he didn't play this weekend for Ibar in Segunda. Uli is my DoorDash driver. Oh, Dan W., that's harsh. But might be true. Senor Riva. Isn't Solo wanted by Chile? No, he is not. That was all
Back in the day. Back in the day, there was a lot of talk about it because Chile had no real strikers coming through the woodwork at the time. I don't know if they still do or not, but Soto was running high off his U20 World Cup.
Right, and then it all went down the shitter.
You know, the Chile Federation going like, "Whew, dodge that bullet."
I mean, seriously. But if you're talking about Kobe Hernandez Foster, that dude's fucked. He didn't play this weekend either. He rode Pine, almost said porn. Rode Pine at Ham Cam. So you know what? Who was that wanted him? Who wanted him?
I said Guatemala.
Guatemala? I mean, they got a better chance. They got a good chance because he ain't turning out. All right, he's not, and he's not getting any younger. Mm-hmm. Like he's beyond the years where you're like, oh, he's just a fucking 17-year-old. Fuck it. No,
it's interesting to think about. We're getting into a point now where CONCACAF is going to be filled up with a bunch of players born in the U.S. that weren't good enough for the U.S. But then the other CONCACAF nations. There's just CONCACAF will be a bunch of basically Americans playing against each other.
Like right now,
well, I guess in fairness, they kind of already are, but still, you know what I'm saying.
Well, what you're saying is right now, what's happened is the transformation is the evolution of the European dual nat is now playing on the U.S. national team. There are a lot of them. Even Pulisic's dual nat, if you really want to think about it, even though he was born here. While all the rejects end up on Guatemala and El Salvador and whatever. That's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Seriously. We might even see some of them end up, depending where they're from, at Hungary or Burma or Vietnam. Anyhow, that's my, what is that guy, that comedian? Somebody's going to get it for me.
Don't know what you're talking about. What comedian?
That's my voice is kind of in his voice. You don't take a shit, you leave a shit. All right. Jack Holt says, what do you guys think about USSF headquarters moving to Atlanta?
I wonder about making this an actual topic, but I don't have anything pulled up. And we can talk about it further in another show because it's not going anywhere. The topic isn't going anywhere. It's still going to be a hot commodity. USSF is moving to Atlanta. For those who don't know, the blank Arthur, was it Arthur Blank? That's the owner of the Atlanta?
Correctamundo, yes.
He's funding a training facility along with Coca-Cola apparently, and they're pouring the money in there, and USSF is like, "Thank you, we will accept."
It seems a little bit.
It
seems a little bit one coast-sided, but then again, who wants to fucking live in Chicago during the goddamn winter? Not many people. And they don't really have the facilities they need in Chicago. George Carlin! Oh my God. Jesse Negron. How did you hear it? You heard it. You are a fucking genius, dude. You heard me do George Carlin. You are fucking a genius. Give this man, Brett, after the show, you got to drive to this guy's show. I mean, his house. His house. Anyhow. All right.
You're the one getting a hard on right now, Derek. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, all right.
But yeah, as far as moving to Atlanta, it makes more sense having the headquarters and training facilities in a location that's probably more temperate than the Windy City, if you will. Plus, I imagine land and property has to be significantly cheaper in Atlanta than it is in Chicago.
Yeah, a little bit, but Atlanta's getting up there.
Yeah, so might as well hit it while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Again, we can go more depth in this at another show when more stuff comes out. But that's my take on it. Like, who cares? I guess at this point, it's nice. I mean, at the training facilities, does that mean that all U.S. camps are going to start off there and then go to wherever the games are, or is that talking about like the U17s are going to be based out of there instead of Florida now?
The second part.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second part. No, they're still going to go train at whatever stadium. They're going to cocksuck for the week and tell them they're the best stadium and the best fans ever, and then only 10,000 people will show up. Chadwick for $1.99. Thank you, my friend. Triumph the insult dog is hilarious. Thank you. I do appreciate you noticing that, but it actually isn't Triumph, that voice that we do. It is actually the talking goat from Adam Sandler's series of comedy discs from the 90s.
It's not too far off. I mean, they're very similar.
It isn't. They're similar. But the talking goat is like, it was a series where a bunch of guys went out and they found a talking goat. They've been friends with him for a while. They unhooked his chain so he could get off the truck, and he ran out. And one guy had a football, so he threw him a pass and hit him in the head. He's like, God damn it, fucking A. Right, you're a regular fucking Roger Staubach over there. You button hooked me. God damn, I have a headache. That's where that comes from.
Larry's got it right here. Fuck me
in the goat ass. Fuck me in the goat ass. Yes. That is actually where that originates from. Yep. It's more of the goat, and it's close. It's close to the, Triumph the dog.
It's close to Triumph. They both came out roughly around the same time period, too.
I think so. Yeah. But I was more.
I don't know if one spawned off the other.
Well,
I don't know if Triumph came out and then Adam's like, I can do a voice like that. That's like most of the voices I do.
Yeah, I think the goat was earlier, and then we finally saw Triumph on Conan O'Brien. Yeah. All right, what else we got?
We got some art here.
And believe me, folks, we got plenty. We're just getting through the nibbits right now. The nibbits. If you don't see happy people, you need therapy. If you don't see happy people, then you need therapy. Happy people? All I see is pussy. Where's the happy people? Oh, I see them
there
now.
You are.
Oh, I do see them.
Woo!
Woo! Okay. That's rather devious.
It took me a second there, too. For a while. I was like, whoa, should I be looking at this? It's work? Oh, wait, no, it's okay. It's okay. I still probably shouldn't be looking at it work.
I don't think...
Anybody walking by be like, what the fuck?
Did you show this to your kids?
Absolutely not.
Because what do you think they would see? I bet you they just would see the happy
They probably
people.
would see the people. You're right.
So you should try it out.
Yeah. It's an answer I can't wait to get.
Just consult with EB and see what she thinks, and then just spring it on them.
Well, it's funny because look, obviously, here's one of the ladies, if you will.
Yes. Right.
And then here's another lady, if you will. But what the fuck is this in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's deceptively used because those are really skinny people, right? Those aren't normal looking people. It's a chick with a dress and two dudes who are super fucking skinny and out of any sort of form that would be natural. So, I mean, this is really made for you to see pussy. That's what this is.
Of course.
And then it's supposed to make you feel bad that that's what you saw, because now you need therapy. No, I think you need therapy if you saw the other fucking thing first. It's the opposite. The groups for the 2023 FIFA U17 World Cup in Indonesia are set. Okay. We got France. That's a good team. Burkina fucking Faso. Okay.
I didn't even know that was a country. I'm sorry for all the people at Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso. Yes, I just had fucking in between it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I've never once heard that in my life. That's more on me than it is on you guys. So it's nothing.
You just need to work on your geography a little. But it is an African country, and then Korea.
Oh, geez, I would never. I mean, I guess based on the colors scheme, I could have, I guess, but based on the name, I don't know why I was thinking more like Indonesia type of area, like Oceania, if you will.
If you told me they qualified, how many teams qualify for this tournament?
I have no fucking clue.
48? Because that might explain Burkina Faso being in this. But at the same time, we're not making it out of this group. You know that, right?
We've got a very talented U17 squad. You don't know.
I mean, France? Korea's got a
It's
really
going to be
good.
challenging. Absolutely, yeah, 100%. It's going to be a tough group. I'm not lying. It's going to be tough.
I mean, of all the groups, I bet you if we went through a bunch of other groups, there'd be some total wanker groups out there in this tournament.
Let's just see. Actually, while we're talking about that, yeah. Apparently, Burkina Faso is right next to Ghana.
Correct. I am a geography freak, so yes, I knew that.
Okay, let's see here. Qualification squad draw. Let's go group stage. Let's do this on the fly here.
Indonesia, Ecuador, Panama, and Morocco.
I'll take that group.
I think we would be doing a lot better in that group.
I'll take that group.
Put us in with, instead of Ecuador, Spain, Canada, Mali, and Uzbekistan.
I'll take that group.
That's a light group.
I'll take that group.
Spain's going to be good. Mali will probably be pretty good, but Canada's youth squads? Ugh.
Oh, fuck. We smoked Canada's youth squads. So, I mean, yeah.
Yes.
I'll take that group. I'll take that group.
We smoke them to get high at lunchtime. All
Yeah.
right. Brazil, Iran. Okay.
No, it's Iran.
I don't give a fuck. New Caledonia.
Calm down.
Hey, this is where we're at, by the way. We got New Caledonia from goddamn the Oceanic. A fucking small island as big as my left testicle has made the fucking World Cup of the U17s. And then you got England. So England and Brazil, very good. Iran, very competent. New Caledonia is going to get fucking anally like
curb stomped. Like royal hardcore, yeah.
They're gonna get so fucked in this.
I mean,
it's gonna be like 10-0, 11-0.
I would be surprised if they don't get triple digits goal differential. Okay, that's me being. I'm exaggerating a bit there.
Yes, of course.
This is. I would say this is a tough enough group that I'm like. I don't know if I would take it. You know,
no, I wouldn't want to be in. Yeah,
it was us, France, and South Korea.
Right.
So, I mean, that's quite an equivalent. So,
excuse me.
These are the two groups right here so far. Us and them.
Yeah. Us and them. Great song by Pink Floyd.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a bitch. Poland's fucked there.
Oof, ouch. Okay, I'm not as upset anymore.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Good Lord.
How many groups do we got in this goddamn thing of 4?
I don't know. We're up to D right now. God damn.
A, B, C, D.
That's
E.
brutal,
Right.
man. There's us. We already talked about us.
E, F. Mexico, Germany, Venezuela, New Zealand. Well, New Zealand and Venezuela will battle it out for third there. Unless Germany is as bad.
Again,
yeah, they could. Yeah, okay. That's a tough group, too.
I wouldn't want that group either. Okay, that's it. So Zef groups.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 is 24 teams in the U17 World Cup. That's it?
Yeah.
Man, they're going all 1986 World Cup on us.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
It's like we're back in 94. Only 24. What's it? When's the last year only 24 teams made the World Cup? That must have been
I'm not gonna bother.
1990. I don't know. Somewhere around there.
I mean actual World Cup. Okay.
The real World Cup. Not
not this used bullshit, right?
Not the tiny tiny ball sack World Cup. Because that's what this is. Not yet, men. Still growing.
Derek, are you queasy at looking at injuries?
Yes.
Do you get sick when you see a shin bone split in half, and all of a sudden one bone's going the direction it shouldn't be going?
Only if it's mine, I'm fine with it. If it's somebody else, it makes me sick.
Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily happen here, but it's still a pretty dangerous tackle that occurred with Marathon versus Olympia here. And you said you have not seen this.
Oh, these two teams hate each other. No, I have not seen this. I heard.
Well, when you see this tackle, I feel like the coach may put a person in there just to do this.
Oh,
This
he's
is
like
at the end of the game, man.
he's like the guy in hockey who's the enforcer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is name some of the most brutalist tacklers in Roy Keane. He was brutal, but he never really did anything.
This goes right up with it. Some of his tackles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were giving the Olympia players yellow cards for diving on this one. Ooh, Nigel's another one.
Nigel Leong, who's the guy who became an actor? He played mostly in the 80s and the early 90s. And he's basically just known for his ruthless tackles in the English First Division. Oh, what was his name? Anyhow, somebody will know it. Somebody will know it.
A couple names here.
Bob Sanders, Frankie Hayduck.
That's Franny.
Franny Hayduck. That's Sergio Ramos.
We got some Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones, BMR gets the points.
Larry had Vinnie first. BMR said Vinnie Jones just after.
Oh man, they both get bonus points for fucking knowing Vinnie Jones.
Emmett Smith.
John, you're in the wrong sport.
Greg Berhalter.
No, his thing was bashing his head against
self-infliction, yeah.
Against lockers and walls in the locker room. Yeah. Well known for being a hater, a face smasher into, like, Berhalter had a major fucking he just had a real issue with anger in his playing days.
Yeah, cuttings for pussies. You just smash your head into a locker. That's what real people do.
And we're not saying this. This is people telling us who know him and played with him telling us.
Yeah.
So, it's not like we're making this shit up. All right, so let's see this brutality. I mean, I don't know if I want to, but I'll do it for the show.
Vamos a ver qué pasó con
Oh my God, you gotta be fucking.
Pero esto no solo es para
he got a spare, right? He got a spare that one, man.
What the hell? That's straight red, right?
Oh, yeah.
The rest
got a straight red, yeah.
The rest of Olympia needed to run on the field and beat his ass to a bloody pulp is what needed to happen. That was a ninja move. That was a fucking karate kick.
That's why I added the hiya.
If you would have told me this was made up, like somebody made this up, like it's not a real game, I would believe you because it's so absurd. It's like no one tackles.
I mean, he
that.
left the ground was at knee level. I mean, that was not a slide tackle. That was I'm gonna break your leg in 5 places. You'll never play again type of tackle.
I think
it was a Nigel de Jong tackle on Holden, actually.
On Holden, yeah.
Same fucking shit.
If you could time it right and you could see him diving in, you could jump up and punch him straight in the fucking face. Because that's what I would want to do. I want to fucking
look at that. Look at that.
I'd be ready for this guy right now.
What is that?
I'd be ready for him right now. I'm ready to spring up so he doesn't get me. At the same time, I'm leaving an elbow in right to his fucking noggin. That's what I would do.
You know what? There was actually a banana peel there. I saw it. That's not his fault.
That's bird shit.
Oh, for fuck's sake, dude. Look at that. Look at that. Even into the tackle. I mean, I know he started way up here, but he's down towards the ground now. But that's still knee high right there. Look at that shit.
What I don't understand is how slow these dudes are to react. He was doing the karate kick 10 feet ago. He started it.
And I feel like watch when he makes contact. They have the ability to get their feet up in the air, so I don't think it's nearly as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
So because that's an instant. That's a second right there. You have to react to that. Somebody's coming at you karate kicking your ass. What are you gonna do out of nowhere? I didn't expect this.
I wouldn't leave my leg in there.
No. The guys come running bullheaded steam. I'm just gonna already primitively start jumping. Jump.
I know. I'd be ready to jump, and like I said, elbows out. It's going straight to his fucking what did we call it? Gabella.
Bandit is Marathon versus Olympia.
Yep.
And Olympia got curb stomp there. Keep using curb stomp.
Honduras, right?
Yeah.
Versus Costa Rica. Honduras? Costa Rica? I can't remember now.
Now you have me second guessing. Somebody's got it in the chat, I'm sure. Here you
Somebody.
go. Let's see. I know the red ones.
Honduras, thank you.
Honduras.
I was right the first time. Why did I doubt myself? I know why.
You said Costa Rica, and I freaked out. I'm like,
I know why I doubted myself. She's named Jenny Cush.
Always willing to throw the lady under the bus, Derek.
I know. I am. I am.
Jack Holt says it. Weak yellow card for diving. Squirrel pair, man. That was nothing. That was softball shit there, you know.
I mean, they left their legs in on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew he was going to fall short.
Yeah. They're like, I'm gonna get a little bruise on my shin from this shit. Yeah, this isn't a real knee buster by any. No, they had no time to react. In fact, their only time to react was kind of like to lift their legs up in the air a little bit, so they kind of flow with his motion. You know.
All right.
Yeah, that was fucked. That was fucked, man.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly looking. I mean, that guy doesn't even look like a soccer player. All right. Are we moving on to a what? A calzone. A type of pizza can be called a pizzucci. A calzone, a type of pizza, can also be called a pizzucci.
And as Messed Up Food says, a what?
A pizzucci. It sounds dirty, but it's just a mix of the word pizza and pussy.
Like exactly, yeah.
Pizza pocket.
I mean, it sounds dirty, but it's just a mixture between pizza and asshole. I mean, it's not that dirty.
I mean, they're just basically using the word pussy for pocket instead of pocket, like a pizza pocket. They're calling it a pizza pussy, so it's a pizzucci.
I want you to call up some pizza joint and say, I would like to order 3 pizzuccis.
I don't think it's actually on the menu. They're just calzone.
Well,
calzone.
This is clearly authentic Italian food, Derek. Clearly, it's pizzucci.
Nobody makes that except for Italians. Let's be honest. All the Italian restaurants have been pretty maximized out on Italian American, most of them, influences. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, a lot of American Italian food's quite good, unless you're talking about Chef Boyardee. All right. A pizzucci is a $30 calzone.
She better be worth it. That's all I'm gonna say.
You let it cool down a little. They both work the same. All right. What else we got?
Some Gio Reyna news. Apparently, he's in their Champions League roster, and he potentially play tomorrow.
By the way, I don't think you caught that last joke at all.
I didn't hear. No, sorry.
I said you let them both. You let them both cool down. The calzone and the pizza pussy, and they both work the same.
It's the equivalent of the hot American pie, right? Or or apple pie. Yes. It's just like apple pie.
They both work the same. Yeah. All right. Even though one costs $30 more. The turd says in the background, pizzucci, what my wife calls her area when she's on her. Okay, that's way too gross. I'm glad we trailed off on that one, my friend. All right. Kobelmeyer, Lutka, Schlotterbeck, Sule, Hummels. These just naming the fucking team.
Players who are going to be there. But guess who's there?
Gio Reyna.
Halfway through. And you know what? Look at the picture. He's starting to get actually, no, that could just be from him dyeing his hair blonde. Never mind. I thought he was getting a bit of gray, and I'm like, he's really starting to look like his dad. But, yeah. But it's just left over from his bleaching, if you will.
A little pepper there.
Yeah. No, I think it's left over bleaching. So I don't think he's quite peppering. He might be.
Yeah.
He might be. He might be. We'll see.
One of our favorites, S27,
Mhm.
for 199 says John Brooks is in good form, but he's being ignored, which is the major topic of my X post, right?
Yeah.
My Twitter.
You're up here somewhere, Derek. Up here.
And
at the top.
we are
We're
going
gonna
to
get to
address.
it. Don't worry about that.
Yes, we are going to address it. We are. I
Thanks
promise.
for the $2, man. S27, you're great. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mitch.
This one's Mitch. S27 gave us $1.99.
Yes, that's true. Mitch Desi made a live show. You did, Mitch?
He's finally here. Mitch is
Oh, he-
not been prevalent in any of our live shows recently. He's finally here at a live show.
I thought
Thanks,
he
Mitch.
made a live show.
Oh, no. He's finally made a live show.
God, being stone fucks every perspective up. Lou Coutry for $1.99. Pizusi was created by Graham Zusi. That would make sense. That would make some, at least, phonetic sense. All right, makes way for October call and hopefully the end to the Berhalter Gio fiasco. We don't, yeah.
Fingers fucking crossed. We hope it's the end of it.
There are actually people twittering stuff like, oh no, there's, Greg's already consulted with U.S. Soccer and they're okay with him not ever calling Gio Reyna up. Bullshit. No, they're not.
No, Betty Crocker came out and flat out stated that he's going to be an integral part moving forward. If he wasn't injured for the September window, he would have been there.
He's integral, right?
Yeah.
That's another way of saying important.
Absolutely.
All right. Should I use any other synonyms?
So this Berhalter Gio fiasco that Twitter likes to run, and I'm a big fan of soccer, Dad and Callie. So I'm not trying to throw him under a bus here, but the whole fiasco that he's referring to is artificially made because most of us want this to end. We all want Berhalter to call up Gio and this all be put to rest.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would want Greg to get on a plane to Dortmund and somewhere mid-flight. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right. Anyhow.
You checked. Parachute, no.
Yeah, I can't. As much as Greg is just somebody I just don't like, I can't wish.
No, I wouldn't wish that at all. It's fun to joke.
It's a joke.
A joke. But no, I wouldn't wish it.
No, I don't want any harm to come to him. I wouldn't mind if Reyna got like a free slap on his face or something. But anyhow, or like Brooks got a chance.
And a slap, right? It's a trip and then a slap.
I would love in 2030 for him and John Brooks to be locked up in a locker room together for an hour. I think that would be fabulous. I don't want him to kill him. I just want him to taste the fucking, what it feels like to be fucked.
Okay, so what you want Berhalter to come looking out like this is what you want.
Whatever the result is.
Look at De La Torre's photos after the game. I imagine is his first one where he's got this busted up, broken nose, and then he's got a photo here. Yep.
Jesus.
I'm kind of fucked, guys. Kind of fucked here.
But he played.
Hey, he came out and played, yeah. Once he got out of that.
Really, in the Brooks Berhalter thing, what's Berhalter going to do? Kick him in the pussy? What shot does he have against John Brooks in his rage at this point?
Yeah.
Not much.
Not much.
All right.
What we got next? We got was it a bit of an echo there?
Max Bretos.
Oh, grapples. Hold on.
Pepi takes PK cheers to cheers. What Maximiliano Bretos? I've never called him Maximiliano in my life. We've known. How long have we known?
I've never heard you use his full name there. Are you scolding him? Are you saying, "Hey, you're grounded"?
We've known him for how long? 13 years.
Yeah,
I don't. And I only learned this was his last name since I got on Twitter. Or his first name, excuse me. His first name. Yeah.
You've known his last name. No, you just found out about his first full name.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah.
Maximiliano. Wow.
I'd go by Max as well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's too much.
It's a mouthful.
Ricardo Pepi comes in 83rd for PSV, helps win penalty, argues with Chucky to take it. Lozano, no doubt thinking on return to his former club, would get the nod, and the fans wanted him to take it. I like Pepi taking initiative, but all a bit weird. Right after Coach Peter Bosch left sideline.
He left,
No,
he left the sideline after the PK. And I don't know what happened after that, but he didn't leave before the PK happened.
He was there.
I'm going to bounce in the audio. I don't want to play audio, but I'm going to mute it here, but just I want it all here. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you who don't know this situation, Lozano had crossed the ball in. Pepi got ahead to it. Defender, hand up in the air, called a handball.
Right.
I personally think if that hand wasn't there, that ball would have been in the back of the net.
I think so.
It looked like it was designated for that bottom corner, and it was not going to be saved by any means.
Right.
So PK comes, and then there's a bit of a kerfuffle about who's taking the PK.
Not really. Kerfuffle's too strong.
I think kerfuffle is a fun term.
It is, but it
wasn't like there was a throwdown as far as it's a kerfuffle. You know, it was like,
here's what I would describe it as some grumblings.
One-sided grumbling, yes.
Right. One guy, well, there's two originally who were like, hey, man, I want to take it. And then there was Chucky, and he said, no, man, that's my coming back thing. I should get it. And then the captain stepped in and said, none of you motherfuckers get it because the rules are that if De Jong ain't in here, Pepi is, and he's in here, he's the fucking designated goddamn penalty. See, the other guy wanted to take it too. Can't remember his name. Starts with a B.
I don't know if he wanted to take it. He was trying to figure out who's going to take it here.
No,
he might have. Who knows?
No,
I'm not going to say yes or no on that.
He was holding that ball pretty steady.
El Capitan came in and said, "No, this is from the coach. Hands down, what we talked about. If De Jong's not in, then it's Pepi." And we'll get into his actual quote here. But yeah, so during this quote or during this whole issue, the fans are sitting there going like, what's happening here? And the fans may have wanted Chucky to take it because,
of course they did.
He's got a history with PSV. Of course
they love him there.
Back. Give him the PK. So the PK started to happen, and Pepi took the ball, and all of a sudden the whistlings and the cheers came.
Yep.
And then Pepi slotted, and then all of a sudden you had the entire fan base, and everybody there is cheering and screaming.
I think. Well, they were cheering. They were cheering the goal. The PSV fans right now don't know fucking Pepi from a hole in the wall. Outside of when they played against him last season when he was with Groningen, right? They don't know Pepi that well. So, it's unfortunate that this is what happened today because, it's a little bit of negative vibage, but then he scored. So that negates all the negative vibes.
It would have been bad if he didn't score.
Correct. That added extra pressure. And then Chucky was one of the first guys who came over to pat him on the back and say, good shot. So I think this is a fucking non-issue. Unless you're a Mexican fan and this gets up your crawl or up your asshole like a fucking tube worm or whatever. But otherwise, it's not an issue. This is not an issue. This is just not a topic really of any controversy whatsoever.
Apparently, PSV fans on Twitter were arguing with L-Tree fans saying, X, Y, and Z. And we'll get into this in a second. Here's Chucky's response. He's talking about basically Alex here is nice enough to kind of translate what he says.
Yeah, he says it's what the coach wanted. The fans wanted him to shoot. If he hasn't
talked, him to shoot was probably Chucky in that sense,
right? If it shoot it, he hasn't talked to Pepi and coach about the penalty, and nothing happened, and the fans will say what they want. Yeah, it's a non-issue. This is total non-issue. Yeah.
Yep. We have the quote from the coach here.
Pepi is PSV's second penalty taker, says Bosch. The agreement is crystal clear. When Pepi's on the field, that is, in his opinion, I can't read this hardly. Ream has resolved the situation with Lozano and Bakayoko and Pepi. Yes, Bakayoko is the other guy who wanted to take it. Yes.
Basically, what it was is the coach said, hey, when Pepi's on the pitch, he's taking the PKs.
Right.
And that the captain came in and cleared it up for everybody else. Pepi took the PK. He scored. Everybody's moving on. Yes, I'm sure the fans, just from what they wanted to see a fan favorite probably score a goal on his return. But as a whole, they're all happy that Pepi scored too. So it's my take is this is a big old fat nothing burger.
Right. This is like when you go in the old days to the carnival and they're like, yeah, it's the bearded woman. And you're like, oh, I want to see a bearded woman. And then you go see it and you're like, that's not that big of a deal.
So here's an interesting question as far as the Pepi PK.
You didn't like the bearded woman thing? You missed my whole bearded woman explanation.
You keep pointing me out when I'm missing your analogies here. The bearded women and all that shit.
Brett, I never pull you out. You always pull out. Anyhow, all right. You got to stay focused on the
pulling out. I never said anything about pulling out.
I was talking about a bearded woman. Anyhow, I was comparing. I was making a metaphor there. You come to a.
You might find bearded women interesting. I don't.
No, I said it wasn't. You go to the carnival to see a bearded woman. You go and see her, and you're like, "Well, fuck that. That's nothing. She's just got some hair on her face. What a big deal is that?" That's what I'm saying. That's what this whole Pepi thing is. It's a big nothing burger.
Okay.
Despite all the bullshit that went online about it. And all of the things about the bearded woman. Come see the bearded woman. And then you see it and you're like, this is really ridiculous. I heard about this all day. All right. I heard about it. I read it on the news. Like, this is some big fucking big deal. No, I watched it today and it's nothing. It's nothing. It's like the bearded lady. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Thanks for tuning me out, though. All right.
Let's move on. Let's move on to something that's adding on to the conversation.
Oh, you want to add on to things, do you? All right. You come into
the Pepi talk here.
You come into a club, a newbie, and then act,
in a club, but yeah,
and then act like you are it and disrespect senior players. So wrong in so many ways. Oh my God, this is Dan Johan. What do you expect if you play in the U system in Europe? You would know these things. Unfortunately, Pepi hasn't, and the fans have to teach a hard lesson. What a fucking moron! Shut your fucking pie hole, Dan Johan, you fucking moron. You half-wit. What a fucking dumb fuck. This is a nothing burger, you fuckwad, and you're making it into something bigger than it's not.
Yeah, he adds on to it, basically saying that's misunderstanding between the manager and the players, etc. His whole point really is, being a newbie to the club, should Pepi have made way for a fan favorite and somebody who has history with the club to take the PK? Like, should Pepi have handed Chucky the ball and said, hey, you go ahead and take it, man?
Fuck it. No. You be selfish and you take it. You're the striker. You're the guy that's supposed to be scoring goals. Fuck Chucky Lozano. He's your fucking guy that you're going to be playing here down the road in Gold Cup and whatever. Fuck him. Fuck him. I don't care how much the fans want to suck his cock and balls. This is not important. You have been designated the fucking penalty taker, and the captain just came over and resolved it. Yeah. Right? He said, Baba Yako, go away. Hey, you, Chucky, go away. Conversation over. There's nothing to this. And this guy's having a fucking cow, right? I hope his asshole's big enough to poop it out, because that's ridiculous. Loosen up. Unpucker, motherfucker. This is not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's nothing. Well, everyone's forgotten about it already. Everyone in Holland has forgotten about it. Everyone at PSV has forgotten about it. We have moved on.
Yeah, and that was I guess I don't know if I responded to in this sense because I saw everybody else piling on and him responding and stuff like that. So I don't think I actually responded to this point. But ultimately, if the coach says X, you do X.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about ecstasy. I'm talking about X.
Right, exactly.
This is an algebra equation, guys.
You're not talking about a single X movie either.
Exactly.
Rated X movie. You're talking about
or an X post on X, you know?
Or solving for X.
This is the coach tells you, hey, Pepi's when Young's not on there, Pepi's taking the PKs. Then at that point, Pepi's taking the PKs.
If
and
the coach,
you're right. The captain came over and said, "Hey guys, fuck off." He's taking the PK.
Correct. And if the coach says, "I want to pee on your leg after the game,"
that's
just what you do.
You accept it. Yeah. Maybe you just got stung by a jellyfish in Holland. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
That's good. All right. What else we got? I know we got more. We got tons tonight, and we're already an hour in.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's jump back to the comment section just to see if anything popped up. Because I saw we had 20 comments since I bounced over. Nope. Nothing of interest. You guys are boring. Just kidding.
Yeah. Hey, I had that post that went kind of mini viral, right?
No, you mean this post?
Oh yeah, that one.
Let me zoom in for you. Help you out. Can you see that?
Oh, it's double figures now, dude. Way.
Oh, no. This is Kelvin's comment here.
Yeah,
Let's do this. Let's just take a look. I'm curious to see where we're at with you.
24,000
interactions, 330 likes, 2 bookmarks, 13 comments. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
All reposts too. No.
I never know what anybody's going to care about on this goddamn fucking Twitter thing. I have no clue.
Derek comes on here and makes one comment a week, like serious comment a week, and then all of a sudden it blows up. I'm posting like 2 or 3 times a day of something else. It's mediocre, and it's getting good traction. But Derek comes in. Well, I think Berhalter should call in Brooks, and then all of a sudden everybody loses their fucking mind.
Yeah, but let's take this in context because I was very nice about this, right? I added Greg Berhalter, his official account, which he never reads, and I said I think it's time to mend with John Brooks. We don't claim him.
Well, he's a River Plate fan. We don't claim him.
Oh, Kelvin.
Yeah, Kelvin.
And I said it's time to mend with John Brooks. See, just mend. Who besides Ream is your best left-footed center back? It's probable that Tim might be too old in 2026, but John Brooks won't be. His play at Hoffenheim warrants fairness from you, or at least a real explanation. I didn't say call him up and play his ass and start him. No, I wasn't going outrageous here. I just said, hey, he deserves some fairness, and at the very least, he deserves a fucking explanation, a real one, because apparently nobody's talked to John Brooks in fucking eons. So, yeah, he's always under consideration, according to BJ, right?
He was up until Greg got brought back in.
Right, because the rumors were Hudson was going to call him in. That was the serious rumors.
And that's the glaringly obvious thing that people are ignoring at this point, right?
Right.
There's all the talk where he's like, hey, we're going to bring you in. It's either going to be Nations League or Gold Cup, but we definitely want to bring you in, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, Hudson goes bye-bye.
Yep.
And then you start hearing the excuses again. It's like, we want him to get a preseason with his team. I mean,
right.
Okay, well, he's got the preseason, and he's got a handful of games in right now. So October, right? We're expecting to see Brooks in October. That's what I expect to hear, right?
Probably not.
God damn it.
I know.
Son of a bitch.
And then Kelvin pulls this twat of a move. If only U.S. men's national team fans would be more on Pulisic keeping his spot at Milan, which they are all over, by the way. That's all over. People are concerned about it. Everyone's concerned about, Milan turning into Chelsea Part 2. Nobody wants it to happen. Everybody's just watching it closely and hoping it turns out great. So it's not like no one's talking about that. Then we get somewhere. Well, fucker, we are somewhere. And it's not like you can't fucking chew gum and walk at the same time. We can criticize Pulisic and worry about Pulisic and at the same time talk about fucking John Brooks. So I hate these kind of arguments. What, we're only allowed to talk about one thing according to Kevin Loyola? One thing. It's only one thing we should talk about.
He's only talking to the fans. So
who the fuck is that? That's such a mass generalization. Who are the fans? The people who really care and pay attention on a daily basis, or my brother? Or my brother who watches the games and doesn't hardly know any of the players. And he's a fan because he's a USA guy and he likes to support US teams. Mm-hmm. Is that a fan too? Is it the guy who reads USA Today and fucking whatever piece of shit media that does bullshit reporting on Greg Berhalter and the US men's national team? Is that a fan? And doesn't read anything or dig any deeper than that? Is that a real fan? I don't know. I guess they're a fan, but they're certainly not like a really concerned fan.
It's a common thing now that people are trying to basically discredit and discount people's opinions on Twitter, especially, but anywhere else by labeling them as quote unquote fans, basically saying that, well, these fans that I disagree with are not real fans. And I don't approve of their statements, what they're saying, and it's another way of basically saying like you guys aren't real people. And
the critical people.
It's depersonating people. Derek, you are a quote unquote fan according to Kelvin.
Well,
because
I guess
you're focusing on Brooks all the time, but you're not focusing on Pulisic enough.
And according to me, Kelvin's a twat. So there you go.
Well, I had the same concept here. You know, I said if only U.S. men's national team, quote unquote, pundits would be more on the trying to isolate, would be more on not trying to isolate and separate fan base by claiming that they are quote unquote fans, then we'd get somewhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, the whole separation thing is bullshit. That's why we've always talked about the show dealing with everybody as an individual. We've never said there's this clan, there's this clan, there's that clan of fans and that clan of fans, and then wacky clan of fans. Whatever. We just deal with each of you individually, just like I'm dealing with Kelvin Loyola right now.
Yeah.
In calling him a twat.
And I don't try to discredit him as being a U.S. men's national team fan. He covers U.S. soccer. Great for him. I disagree with some of his opinions, but I'm not saying, well, he's a fan. You know, it's the same argument we had when people were starting labeling it. Well, there are people out there that are toxic fandoms,
mass generalization,
toxic opinions. It's like,
yes.
Fuck off. They're opinions. You don't have to agree with them. Just fuck off.
How about taking everybody as an individual and not immediately trying to throw them into one of your buckets, you fuckface?
Yeah.
Why don't we just deal with it? Like, there might be fans who watch our show that agree with like 80% of what we say and disagree with 20% of it. Who cares? You know what? We talk about, there are things that we can agree on, but we don't agree on everything. There are fans that watch this show that probably disagree on this or that, or hit them with a baseball bat. You know, it doesn't matter. It's okay to disagree on shit, but every person is a fucking individual. That's the point.
That's the thing. I mean, we will have arguments with people like we talked about you were having a civil conversation with West Virginia soccer dad. No, sorry. And I love the guy. We have wonderful conversations. Same thing with me with Alec. I have great conversations with him, back and forths. Sean Brooks is another one where we have great back and forths. We don't agree on it. That's perfectly fine to do as fans of the game. You don't have to agree with everything. Stop isolating one argument from the other. If you're this, then I can't associate with you. Stop that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
it is stupid.
And even people that you might think are absolute dogmatists, probably you would generally think have some differences in opinion. from any orthodoxy of thinking as it relates to U.S. soccer. Although there are people out there who are so diehard about, like, say, Greg Berhalter or whatever other issue, they're like single issue people. Then you're like, okay, he doesn't have an opinion on anything else and any other issue we talk about except for this one issue, and it is a dogma. It is an orthodox way, establishment way of looking at the situation. And that becomes troublesome because they're a one-issue person. Don't be a one-issue person. There are more things going on in U.S. soccer than John Brooks and Pulisic's virginity. There are all kinds of things going on.
It's like being a one-issue voter, and that's a lot of our voters, right?
Yeah, it's too many of them. And then there's the whole other problem that we have right now with mainstream media, Brett, and that is that the country in general, we don't get mad at the people in power, and we don't get mad at the media that suck up to them and allow them to lie to us. What we get angry at, amazingly, is we get angry at the people who expose them for lying and tell you they're lying. Why? Because that makes you uncomfortable. It makes some people uncomfortable to be told that the people that they're supposed to believe, the people they've been told to believe their whole life, the newspapers, the mainstream media, the whatever person that they've been told to listen to, because they definitely know what they're talking about, are full of shit. That makes you uncomfortable about the life you're living in, right? Because now you're like, oh shit, everybody's a fucking sack of shit. They're lying. They don't really want to expose what's really going on. They don't want to really talk about the real issues. And you can take that from soccer all the way to fucking politics, frankly. Doesn't matter. Whole wide range of life here. But there's a whole group of people out there who don't want to hear it. Okay? They'd rather accuse you of being some sort of criminal or soccer terrorist than listen to you say, you don't know the full truth. We do, because we got people who know the full truth, and they told it to us, and we're relating it to anyhow. Whole story being, people don't like to be taken out of the orthodoxy of the way they receive their information, whether it be mainstream media or some authority figure like Greg Berhalter. And that's pretty sad, and they need to get out of that. Lamar H, $5. Thank you, brother. Brett will probably get in his driveway and reverse down the driveway, but not go anywhere after that.
It's been a moment and a half since you made this joke.
And he'll blow you a kiss, and then he'll go out of the car and go back in his house. But we appreciate it. We really do. I think people need to acknowledge about Pulisic's inconsistencies. Yeah, we've been talking about him here. Those two games in the last two friendlies, we pretty much handed him a shitburger for that. Pulisic is good, but I wonder how much his game has improved over the last few years. Probably didn't get much chance too, between the injuries and not playing. So I don't know.
Well, and the funny thing is, and we're going to get into Juventus' game later, but we talked about how at this point Weston might be one of our most consistent Yanks abroad.
He is. He has fought and taken that position from Weah by just being the better player and understanding tactically better where to be, how to defend, never getting burnt, where Weah was getting burnt on occasion. Weah was all over the fucking place, frankly. And he's won that job, and his performance this weekend was fucking exceptional. It was the best American performance this weekend.
It was an extension of the international window. It really was. I mean, what we witnessed during the international window definitely carried over. But I guess while we're still talking about Brooks here,
can I add this real quick though?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
About McKennie, nobody is more comfortable in their own skin than fucking Weston McKennie. And that's why you almost never see McKennie frustrated, even when things aren't going right. Pulisic gets frustrated. He bitches, he moans, he puts his head down, blah, blah, blah. You never will see that from McKennie.
I've never seen McKennie's hands go up in the air like this.
Right. McKennie is the ultimate connoisseur of the term let it be. because there's nothing you can do when it's already happened. You get back into your position and you work on it.
Dude, I watched a video that Juve put out, or somebody put out, of McKennie during a weight training session, bringing in a remote control Lamborghini, and then appearing around the door and riding that Lamborghini all throughout the
training session. Hopefully nobody stepped on it and broke a leg.
So I forgot who it was, but somebody did put their trapped it, put their foot on top of it, picked it up, and put it up on top of a giant trampoline. And Weston was like, "Oh, motherfucker!" He did my Lamborghini.
And he's a character, so there's that too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
The only weakness McKennie has is don't party too much. That's it. That's his only blind spot.
Too much of champagne.
Too much of champagne. Too much of spaghetti. Too much of lasagna. Too much of pizza. Or whatever. He just needs to be careful. Too much of pussy. All right, we got what? What do you got here? John Brooks stats for the last game.
We're finishing up the Brooks conversation here. Yeah.
Minutes played 90, which is pretty much standard for Hoffenheim. By the way, people don't understand. Hoffenheim has been in the league for how many years now? 13 years? 11 years? 9 years? I can't fucking remember. It's been a while. They're no shit team. They've been to the Champions League before. Mm-hmm. This is not a shitty team. This is not a shitty team he's playing for. It's a team that has in the past had high expectations, and they spend thriftfully, but they don't underspend.
Yeah.
This is a decent team.
They go through a couple of years of mid-table mediocrity, if you will.
Right.
Yes.
They're a good, solid fucking Bundesliga team that he's playing for as the middle center back piece in a back three, which is the most important fucking position on that defensive line. Interceptions, 2. Defensive. Oh, look at that. Recoveries. 11 recoveries, Brett. I just thought some guy in fucking Twitter told me last night that he's really poor at recoveries because he watched what? 2 fucking U.S. men's national team teams, and he's never watched a Bundesliga game to save his fucking life? You got to watch the games, dude. And not one guy I called out for not watching the Bundesliga yesterday in the Twitter said, no, man, I do watch the Bundesliga. I watch every game, Brooks. No, none of them said that. They all said this fucking generalized bullshit. Well, I've seen him play. Okay, you saw him play.
Yeah.
So what? I watched John Lennon play the guitar when he was 11. He was a lot better at 27. Fuck that shit. Time has passed, dude. Catch up. Watch him play. Quit criticizing a player for shit that he's bad at, that he's not bad at. He can't read the field. Because he can read the field. He's slow. He's no slower than Ream. It's ridiculous. Too much Pezuzzi for Weston. Yeah, that could be a problem, Lou.
We have the best fans. That's all I gotta say. I mean,
Lou,
I watched the P, I watched the Filippo streams, and you guys all super chat them and ask some serious questions. But this is the shit that we live for. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate that, Lou. That's $199 well spent.
Yep, this whole Pezuzzi thing's going crazy.
We've already talked about Juventus match against Lazio. So I figured we just quickly recap McKennie's performance there. I mean,
phenomenal. Great, involved in every goal.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. He was instrumental in the first two goals.
Yep.
If you go back and rewatch, I mean, I feel like he got hockey assists, if you will.
Well, and that's what I was saying, man, he deserves some sort of stat. And then he finally got it. So
and then he got the assist on the final goal. I mean, it was just a phenomenal game for him. I mean, hands down. And then Weah came in. Weah had about 10 minutes or so. It was played a completely different type of right wing back, because there were times where he was higher up than our strikers. Well, I say our strikers as if I'm a Juve. I mean, I'm a Juve support fan, but I'm not necessarily a supporter in a sense. But he was. There were times where he was playing almost like a striker for Juve. He didn't miss an opportunity that he probably would have put away 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. That would have been great if he got a goal, and then that would just icing on the cake. Right there.
I don't know how he missed it yet. I've tried to do the math, and I cannot figure out how that ball does not go in.
It was a little high, and it was just a missed touch, and poop over the goal.
All he needs to do is somehow get on top of it, and he was just like an inch or two. Yeah,
if that, yeah. It was unfortunate. It really was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was great that he was in the location where he was. He was offering opportunities moving forward into the attack. So he offers a little bit different type of a right wing back option. So that's
there's
the thing.
No doubt.
Moving forward, if Allegri is going to play McKennie and Weah as the right wing options, you're going to be looking at what type of wing back do you need in this situation.
Right.
And when you're playing like a top team and you're playing like a Lazio who's been consistently been playing well recently.
Then it's McKennie.
Not necessarily recently. This start of the season, they've been playing well, but they haven't been getting results. Let's put it
They'll
that way.
get it together.
Yeah. So in that situation, when you're playing a better team that's based primarily on possession, throw McKennie in there and he's breaking that shit up and he's opening up opportunities. Wade comes in late. But you're playing a weaker side, maybe you just want to throw Weah in there and just overload the opposition.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen moving forward?
It's a great option. I'd love to see him on the field at the same time, but probably not going to see that. Maybe unless there's some injuries, which could happen. So
and McKennie is a jack of all trades for that midfield, so he could easily slide in there.
He could. That's what she said. Yeah, so great game by McKennie. All right. No, I wasn't, but yeah, good point. All right. What else we got?
We got Gladbach. Let's talk about some Gladbach here.
All right. In the game, Gladbach came out and played a first half that was total junk. And they were getting burned left.
It looks like they're getting burned on the right side is where it looks like they're getting burned at.
Yeah. Scally was not having a great game, but a lot of guys weren't. And so they yanked a bunch of guys off and replaced them at halftime. Scally being one of them.
God, they made 4 subs at the halftime. Jam.
Yes.
I just noticed the right center back in Scally, but I just realized that left wing and center mid also got yanked.
Yeah, right.
God
so
damn.
It was looking like hopeless. I was getting bored watching it, but I was still hoping PFOC would get a goal, and then he did. And then it was 3-1, and then they just kept fucking piling forward. PFOC played, I think, the full 90.
He did,
yeah, that's what I thought. And good for PFOC. Good to see him get a goal.
Mm-hmm. Good to see him get the start and the goal for that matter.
Didn't the other team, wasn't it Darmstadt?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they got a red card too, didn't they? If I remember right. Sorry, I watched too many games this weekend. I think I watched 9 games total.
I don't see a red card, no.
I thought they got a red card. Anyhow, that's how I remember it, but I could be wrong. I might be mixing it up with another game. But yeah, all of a sudden they just make this great comeback, and it was fun to watch. I don't know if Scally was the problem. I'm not saying he was, but I do know if you need 3 goals, Scally isn't the guy you want on the pitch because he's primarily a defensive right back. He's not going to provide a lot of offense in the attack, and that's why he got yanked. So. All right, U.S. men's international Tim Ream with Fulham today had a really solid game. Some really kind of sketchy moments where you're like, oh, shit, because I'm a Fulham fan. Oh, shit, they're going to lose. They're going to get this. They're going to lose the win. But they held on for the 1-0, and Tim Ream, as usual, was the leader on the team. So,
all right, well, despite the fact that Foot Mob did not show it, BMR is saying that it happened.
Thank you, BMR. I thought I might be losing my mind. Since it didn't show up on the report, I thought, well, maybe I got that
Bob-
mixed up with another game, but I'm pretty sure there was a red fucking card in that Darmstadt game.
I mean,
which
I'll
allowed them.
flat out say it. I mean, given my commentary on the game itself, it was clear that I did not watch the game, and I make no intention of saying that I did watch the game. I didn't. So I'm like,
yeah,
no, yeah, the football did not show it. They let me down.
Yeah. I tried to watch as many as I could. Now, I did fast forward until some of the players that we want to watch came in, but I just watched it mostly for the American players, obviously. And then I had to fit in Formula One this weekend as well. So all kinds of shit going on. Then there was the Colts. Colts played. I watched a lot of sports this weekend with my parents at my parents' house. And during the night, I watched a lot of games on my laptop. Yeah, good game by Tim. I don't know what else you can say. Jedi is still hurt, which is why he didn't play the second game against Oman. He'll be back. It's nothing serious. Alex Martinez, why are we still talking about Ream? Is he really going to the World Cup in 2026? Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a great chance.
Yes. I will flat out go out. You guys come back to the show later on. But he is aging like a fine wine, and he's going to be our leading goal scorer in the 2026 and win us the World Cup.
Okay, so that is Brett.
That's sarcasm.
Sarcasm?
He will be.
So,
I think he'll be in contention. Yes, even though he'll be like 500. He'll be
yeah, I think that reality will set in the next couple of years, and I think Tim Ream will meet Mother Nature, and things will start to break down a little for him. Or he hires the best trainer and whatever, and he's healthy all the way to the World Cup. And then you can say, and then Berhalter can say, we don't need John Brooks. We've got Tim Ream.
What is this, 2022 all over again? No, that was the same scenario. I think what's going to happen is Ream is just going to keep plugging and chugging, and then there's going to be center backs who should probably be called in over him that are just going to be getting injured. And he'll be like, hey, still here, motherfuckers. And he'll get called in. I think he will.
And don't forget, his last name is Ream. So he's ready to fuck some motherfuckers and do whatever it takes to hold on to his spot. So Spencer Dirty for 10.69. Look at he upped the first number. He fucking up.
I appreciate with the consistency with the 69s there, man.
Yeah, but he upped the front number.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's why I pulled it up immediately. I didn't wait for it. I just I don't care what he says. I'm pulling it up.
I don't care what he says.
He could have been talking about some topic we talked about like 5 hours ago. You never know.
Right. CCV and Richards should be our CB pair. Well, Richards got to play this weekend. And outside of a bullshit, total fucking horseshit bullshit call on him, which led to a penalty kick, he played pretty well. Also, will Hoosiers get a game for the USSF anytime soon? You mean a game in Indianapolis? No, not until the stadium is built by Indy 11.
Not even that.
They will.
It's going to take international airport status before we ever get involved.
We lost that.
We quote unquote have an international airport status, but it's not actual like flights out to like commercial flights, if you will.
Right.
It is like FedEx and all that shit. So we're not an international airport, and that quite frankly, you'll see that there'll be no U.S. soccer games at a place where there's no international airport.
Were you ever able, Brett, to take flights straight to New York City or straight to Philadelphia or straight to Boston from Indianapolis?
Absolutely.
You were at one point.
Still are, yes.
So why isn't that international enough?
Because they're in the United States. I'm kind of confused what you're trying to get at here, guys.
So, I mean, obviously, if you're flying in from Switzerland, you're going to land in New York City before you go to Indianapolis.
But, I mean, it's a direct flight status. I mean, like Chicago, using Chicago as an example, you come from Switzerland, you can fly straight to Chicago if you wanted to. You're not going to stop you could stop in New York if you wanted a cheaper ticket in that sense. I mean, I'm not sure how that happens with Europe with ticket prices and shit like that. But, I mean, here in the States, you can fly from Indianapolis to New York to Cancun. That's how that flight might actually occur.
But
It
dude,
doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it is.
if you're flying, can you fly in direct to Chicago and take a fucking bus to goddamn Indianapolis? How hard is
Sure, why
that?
not?
Or fly into
There's-
Louisville and
there's
take a
legit-
fucking 4-hour bus to Indy.
There is an actual bus that goes from Chicago to Indianapolis, and that's its only route.
Well, you take a team bus, is what I'm saying.
Sure, you could do that. Yeah,
I don't know if that's
charter
what's
a
hold-
bus.
we're the reason we're not going to host anything here for a while is our only real big stadium is the Colt Stadium, and you'd have to put artificial grass over that bitch. So, I mean, it's not like we haven't done it before. It's been done in Seattle multiple times, but I don't like that. Whereas I think the Indy 11 Stadium is going to be natural, real grass, and it's going to hold 50,000 people. So I don't see why not. Why that couldn't be a future stadium, except they're a USL team, and that's not liked by US Soccer because they're fucking inorganically connected by the ends of the cocks with US Soccer, right?
Yeah.
They've
Well,
been-
again, yeah, Hoosiers aren't going to see an international friendly anytime soon.
That's right. That's probably what
Hands
I would
down,
say.
It's not going to happen.
It's 2 years until the stadium's built.
Even with the stadium built, they're going to go to Chicago. They're going to go to in Nashville or Cincy. That's all I got to say.
You're just telling me basically we're going to get the shaft.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll at least drive 3 to 5 hours to see a U.S. game, basically.
That's all right. We're used to that.
I'll accept it. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be wrong. I would love it to be in Indy, and I think we'd sell out well.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
I mean, not with the current team and the current coach and the current feelings about U.S. soccer and U.S. men's national team. That would all have to change. Otherwise, if we played Mexico and Indianapolis, it'd still be like 60% filled with
from the
Mexico
southwest side of
fans.
Indianapolis, yeah, they'd fill a stadium on their own. I mean, we have
Yeah.
little Mexico on the southwest side of Indianapolis. Yeah,
Dude, where I live, I have little Mexico all around me. And you know what? I fucking love it. These are some of the greatest, finest people I have ever met in my life. I love living here. I love being surrounded. I have a great Mexican grocery across the road that I can go to. And they're so nice to me when I come in. Everybody's just great to me. I fucking love living here.
Derek walks in, they're like, El Gringo.
No,
Like,
it's
yeah, what's up?
I think what they do is they look at me and they don't assume I can't speak Spanish, so they'll speak Spanish to me, and I will do my best to speak Spanish back with my most basic Spanish. So
You're like every time you walk in, like, ¿Dónde está el baño? And they're like, it's at the same fucking location. It's always at, Derek. Come on.
no, I know things like I know how to ask for cream. This is crema, and like tapateo for chicken. I know words.
Derek walks in and he just immediately, before anybody says anything to him, he's like, ¿Dónde está el baño? And they're like, Derek, we speak English. Stop it.
They do speak English. So once they figure out, oh, this guy doesn't speak much Spanish, they do revert to speaking English with me, which I find great. But nothing better than as well. When I had my flat tire, I had that guy pick me up and take me to the tire barn. And in his, what do you call that? I got a tow truck. And I rode with him the whole way. And we talked about Mexican soccer and MLS. It was a great talk. It was so fun. And so it's just great living up here because there aren't as big of a Mexican American population in Bloomington. It's pretty small. But this has been great moving up here. You asked for cream a lot, don't you, Derek? Bandit, you are dirty. You're a dirty raccoon. You're a dirty raccoon. No, I like crema on my tacos, which is not normal.
I'm sure
for gross, which is not a normal thing you add to an order. If you go to an actual Mexican restaurant, like that's authentic, they're like, you want crema on your tacos? Yes, I do. And so, you have to order.
I like them satisfied, is what you're saying, right?
Well, you have to order special bread. That's what I'm saying. You and the dirty raccoon can take your Take your theories to whatever else you want to go. Sick town. All right. What else we got?
All right, this is just Chris Richards' stats. Not a bad game. 90 minutes, 6 clearances, 2 blocks, 5 ball recoveries. So not a bad match.
Listen, he didn't have a bad match. There's no doubt it wasn't bad. It was pretty solid, but of course he's got that fucking PK lingering over his head, which wasn't. I mean, listen, it's just my opinion. I might be biased because I like Chris Richards, and I might say that that's just a bullshit call. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. If you're the opposing team fan, yeah, probably think it was fine.
Derek, I'd say go through the rest of the Yanks Abroad before we jump into the Howard's comment of the American or anti-American bias.
All right, well, that could take a little while, but here we're going to go. Matt Turner did not get fucked in his fucking asshole today. He started. He went to 90. Nottingham Forest tied Koleosho and Burnley 1-0. Koleosho went 76. I know a lot of you are out there are hoping Koleosho plays for us. Obviously, he doesn't need to make any decision anytime soon, so he's not going to. Haji Wright went 75 for Coventry in a tie. Sam Vines did not dress for Antwerp. They probably forgot that he was on the team.
Well, he's not on our Champion League's roster, so why not?
Yeah, they just forgot he was there.
What the hell? That doesn't make any sense.
Testman went 45 and was pretty much pulled out because of travel and all that shit. But Venezia still won 1-0. I didn't even check to see if Busio played. He probably did if Testman got yanked at 45. Julian Green, 74, an assist and a tie. And I noticed on SBI's reports, they keep forgetting that Max Dietz is an American that plays center back for the same fucking team. Like, they never recognize this kid. He's a starter on Greuther Fürth. He is an American. I guess he doesn't exist. I guess.
Happens.
Soccer by eyes. Get your shit together. Ethan Kohler, who's only 18 years old, by the way, started for the Werder Bremen's U19s and went 90. All right. He plays midfield. He's from the San Jose Earthquake Youth System. He's in Europe, so we'll just keep an eye on him. Ethan Kohler. Justin Che, 90 for 80, or ADO Den Haag in the Eerste Division, and his team defeated Groningen. He played right back in that game, Justin Che. It's hard to believe he's playing this low. It really is.
Busio went the full 90.
Okay, makes sense. Good for him, by the way. They won, so he must have contributed. I didn't see the game. It wasn't on ESPN Plus. Let's see. Who else we got? John Hilton, 22 years old, is a left back for Dordrecht in Eerste Division as well, by the way. And he played 90 minutes against Utrecht's 2 team. And he's a LAG, U17 product. Like, there's all these guys playing in Europe, just, you got to keep an eye on, like Rickson Van Hees, who's 21, played right back for Utrecht in that game, Utrecht 2. And his origins are North Texas and NEC, or NEC, if you want to do it Dutch style, U19s. Gideon Zalalem, my old homeboy, went 90 for Den Bosch in the Eerste Division. Yep, got to win. All right, so Tim Ream, we already talked about. Lyndon Gooch went 90 for Stoke in a loss. David Wagner won for Norwich without Sargent, who's injured. Dwayne Holmes keeps scoring, keeps winning for Preston North End. 90 minutes.
I know Larry's going to ask about that, but when is Dwayne going to get called back in?
Never.
Sorry, Larry, it's not going to happen.
No, he is another. Right, listen, this is nothing new. We've reported it many times. We had the inside info about he and Greg verbally going at it years ago. when he was called up that one
He
time.
he refused to cup the balls. So
He did not cup the balls. He did not touch the balls. He did not put tongue to balls. None of those things happened.
Derek wasn't
And
having it.
they had a verbal altercation, as Dwayne Holmes has had with every coach he's ever had. He had it with Wayne Rooney. He had it with the coach before Wayne Rooney. He had the Wayne Rooney one was at Derby, I believe. Anyhow, Dwayne Holmes is known for not taking any shit from anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
So there you go. He and Preston North End are in fourth. They're in first right now in the championship. Paredes in the 18 didn't play. Brendan Aronson 20 minutes in a loss. And folks, I wouldn't count on Brendan Aronson being a superstar for Union this season. Just warning you. Reynolds went 80 for Westerlo in a loss. Brooks 90 in a win we've already talked about, was fabulous for Hoffenheim. Amazing. Matarazzo then also gets the win. Paxton Aronson 10 for Frankfurt. Chandler did not dress. Luca De La Torre played 77 with a broken ass fucking nose. Mark McKenzie did not dress because his left testicle was injured after his time with the U.S. men's national team. We already talked about Pepi, Destin Tillman. Tillman didn't play. Booth is injured. Alex Mendez was in the 18 for Vizela, but never played. And this is becoming a trend. Just warning you, all of you Alex Mendez fans. Bello went 65 for Lask in a win, so that's a positive. Against Klagenfurt, Soda was nowhere to be found. Terrence Boyd is now a bench player for Kaiserslautern. He went 10 in a tie. Noah Banks, 16-year-old German-American, went 90 for Augsburg's U19 team in a loss. Another guy to keep an eye on. Christian Lund, 25 for Palermo in a win. Ventura Alvarado. Why would I have him on here? Christian Kappas in the 18 for Molde, didn't play. Dante Polvara in the 18 for Aberdeen, didn't play. Balogun, 25 and a goal for Monaco. That's a good start. Yeah. Leonard Maloney.
Hey.
When are we going to start talking about him, Greg, as a backup for Adams? A real one. Leonard Maloney, 90 for Heidenheim in a win versus Werder Bremen.
October. I'm calling it now.
I bet you he doesn't get called up. I bet you we don't even hear his name from the goddamn mainstream media for at least another couple of years. I bet you they don't even know who the fuck he is.
We got this crazy list of Bundesliga starters that aren't even in contention. What's happening here?
It's ridiculous. Doljan, 90 and an assist for Sassuolo in a loss. We already talked about Siabatu and McKennie, Juve, and Pulisic. We haven't really talked about, but he had a ghost of a run for AC Milan. He might as well not have been on the pitch most of the game. It was like he wasn't there, Brett. And they got their ass kicked 5-1.
Well, stop talking about Pulisic. Let's talk about Brooks more, okay?
No, we already did Brooks.
I know that's kind of the point of Kelvin's, right?
Yeah. Well,
we don't talk about Pulisic's fault, so we can't. So stop talking about Pulisic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But no, we've already determined that Kelvin's a twat. So, all right. So Pulisic had a horrible fucking game. He was a ghost. They lost 5-1. Musa got 4 minutes at the end of the game. Spiel. Slonina, 90 for Eupen or whatever you want to fucking call it. They lost against Marlon Fossey, Standard Liège, who Fossey went 90 in that win. Mihailovic is about where he should be based on his ball sack level for Aze, which is his ball sack level it's Aze is small. I.e., when he got chances and when he has been played on the regular at the beginning when he got there, he didn't stand out. He'd made no effort to stand out. He made no effort to say, I'm the fucking man, give me the goddamn ball. He made no efforts like that. And so now he's going to pretty much be a bench warmer and get spare minutes at Aze for the rest of the season. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy because I thought Mihailovic would go there and make a statement because he was the man at Montreal, the man. And he should got used to being the man. He went to AZ and he shrunk like a little bitch, and he's playing like one too. And I hate saying that, but that's what he's doing, and that's why he rode Pine for 90 for AZ. Augustine Anello, he's a 15-year-old that plays for Sparta Rotterdam, and he's a forward or a left winger. And he got 15 minutes. He's 21-year-old. I'm sorry, he's 21, not 15. He got 15 minutes for Sparta Rotterdam. Fabian Hertzler, another win for St. Pauli. They currently set 6 in 2 Bundesliga with 10 points. Johan Gomez went 86 for Braunschweiger in a loss. That's going to be a theme of the year, by the way. Also, another U19 kid for Frankfurt, Aiden Harangi, went 74. He's 17 years old. He is a winger. He's a former US U17 and a former Frankfurt U17. We'll see how that works out. Kobe Hernandez Foster got pretty much fist fucked by Hamcam and Road Pine for 90. De La Fuente is injured for, as we learned tonight, for Ibar. And that's it, folks. I'm not going to go over the MLS guys. There are some guys that scored, including Lennon, Wolf, Gretzel, Vasquez, White, again, by the way, Brian White, again. Baird, again. Bassett got a goal. Omar Gonzalez even got a goal. Hollingshead got a goal. Tillman got a goal. And a Bobasi. Those were the goals from the Americans in MLS. Okay.
You need to do the late night talk show host thing and throw the papers up in the air when you're done.
There we go.
Couldn't even see it. You just hear the smack.
Yeah, I guess I got to kind of do it like this. It just disappears, though, out of my hand. You know?
Yeah.
All right. So there's that. Here, I got to go grab that because there's my notes on it, and I don't want to show the world my cock and balls. So hold on.
Fine, he's fine with me showing my junk, but he's not fine with showing his junk. I see. How
You never showed your junk.
Yeah, Brett's gonna show his junk. Brett's gonna show.
You don't have the balls to show your junk.
No, because the internet is forever. Why would I possibly ever contemplate that?
I don't know if you did. Maybe he stopped calling you a bitch.
Maybe we start seeing some $12 chats. Super chats. We'll see.
All right. I don't think so. I mean, listen, that's for sickos, right? Guys that take fucking junk photos and send them to people. Like Anthony Weiner. Remember Anthony Weiner? He did that shit. Didn't Brett Favre send junk pictures?
Yeah.
Chicks? It's like, what kind of... All right, number one, do chicks really want to see close-up junk shots? I don't think so. I don't think they do, Brett. I don't think most of them do.
You had an issue with Hope Solo's beaver and a-hole.
Oh my, that was disgusting. Like, I was physically attracted to Hope Solo prior to her close-up anal photos, like her asshole photos that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Trust me. Hey, man, I'm from a different era. We didn't do that shit.
That's what he says. This nowadays they do.
Yeah, I mean, back when I grew up, these things did not exist. All right, so if you wanted to send a cock photo to some chick, you have to get a Polaroid,
and you put it in the mail, and make sure you put the right amount of postage on it. And sometimes it doesn't show up. Maybe the postage goes, "Hey, what's in this thing? Oh, it's a Polaroid of some guy's penis."
Yeah, or you could hand deliver it, but at that point, you might as well just whip it out and show her to her for reals. You know what I mean? If you hand deliver it, you know what I mean. To hand deliver it. All right.
There was a show that had one of the Chris's. I can't think of his name now. Shit. The guy who played in Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't think of his name right now. Not Chris Pine. Not Chris Hemsworth. It is Chris. Not Chris Evans. I got three of the four Chris's. Pratt, thank you. So Chris Pratt and one of Parks and Rec, thank you. And David even named the show before I could even name it. Parks and Rec, there's a situation where they're supposed to open the door and he was supposed to be wearing like some like flesh colored underwear to make it look like
he's nude.
The door. But he thought he was like, hey, this is gonna be fucking funny. I'm gonna completely be junk out drawn on this. And they open the door and the reaction she gave, like, oh my god. Okay. That was the reaction they went with the show. But then he got like a notification from like NBC saying, hey, don't ever fucking do that again.
Oh, no, I bet. That's breaking some sort of HR rule.
Yeah.
You don't swing around your junk at work. All right, what do we got here? Howard claims Pulisic suffered from anti-American bias at Chelsea. Did he?
Yes, according to Howard.
Howard's just wrong. I don't think so.
I think to an extent the stigma for American players is not as heavy as it used to be.
No, it's not.
I think there's enough players out there that are doing well. And I think there were times where Pulisic was at Chelsea where he was doing well and was getting shafted. And we were all like, dude, what the fuck? He came in for 20 minutes, got you an assist or whatever, and you keep tallying it up. Like he has the best, goal to assist ratio than anybody else besides Mount per 90 minutes or whatever it was. But he was still getting bit minutes under Tuchel and company,
Well, I thought...
but then there are definitely times where he had shit games and shit performances.
I thought Lampard treated him pretty fairly the first time around.
I'll agree with that, yes.
And that was
his best season.
Best season. But then you got to take into account, to be fair to the managers, except for Tuchel, who's a fuckface. No, I don't trust him. But for Lampard, I think you also have to take into account all the injuries. And there were so fucking just shitload of those, right? They're just a shitload of niggling little injuries throughout his whole time at Chelsea. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Listen, I mean, I'm the guy that watched McBride and Dempsey at Fulham become household names in those parts of London, right?
Yeah.
Fulham fans fucking love those guys, and their coaches love those guys, even though Clint had to battle every time they got a new coach, had to battle his way back onto the starting lineup, but he did it on merit. And I think the same thing would have been for Lampard and Pulisic. But then we come to Tuchel. Tuchel's a different bird. He always said he saw Pulisic more as a bench player.
Yeah. Off the bench, super sub. That I think it was his exact words.
Yeah. So that's a bias. I don't know if that Tuchel's biased because he's an American. I think he's biased because he already knew him from Dortmund.
Yeah, when he was a 16, 17-year-old kid.
Right.
And he's like, that's how I've always seen him. And he didn't, when he did play him, he didn't blow his balls or anything like that.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Not saying that Pulisic had like the worst time at Chelsea. Again, quite frankly, when you start calculating his goals to assist and chances created and stuff like that per 90 compared to everybody else, there were only like a couple of players above him. I think it was Mount and I think somebody else. But I can't recall who it was.
I think the bias is dying out. I think there's still some of it there, depending on who you're talking about specifically. But when Matt Turner says there is a bias, but it's just not against Americans, it's just against non-English players, he's basically taking a shot at Arsenal there. I think that's more personal. I think that might be more true, that if you're come in as a foreign player, people expect you to contribute or get the fuck off the team. Whereas I think they're generally much nicer. Look at how much fucking leeway Mr. Leeds gets at center forward. Bamford at Leeds.
Or Jack Harrison for that point.
But yeah, exactly. But then again, there is a contradiction to that, right? There's Harry Maguire. who is booed routinely at Manchester United and booed.
But still gets
routinely
ample opportunities, though, is the point.
well, not so much as much Man U. He does still play for the national team, though. And he's now, that negativity is soaking into his national team play. But I think that's a very specific case. But I generally think most English fans go lighter on English players than they do foreign players.
Well, 100% yes.
But I don't know if that's a bias. I think that's just a homer thing. But I don't think the coaches generally fucking care. They just want the best player on the pitch they could put on the pitch because their job's on the line. If they're like, well, I don't like Americans, I'm not playing you.
Well, ironically, when you're talking about Tuchel being German, and who cares, is from his standpoint, who cares if they're English or not? Not saying that there were a butt ton of English players on Chelsea's starting 11.
Yeah, there aren't even that many. There's Mason Mount back then and handful of others.
Some defenders, some Reece James, and
Chilwell.
Yep. I mean, you're in there. I mean, obviously, you had Hudson-Odoi. You had what's his face that's with AC Milan now?
Tomori?
No, that's competing in center midfield.
Wasn't Tomori on Chelsea at the time with 2 goals there as
well? Probably,
yeah. But I know what you're saying. But
there are some, yes.
Tuchel didn't give a fuck. Modern day Chelsea doesn't give a fuck either. They just got rid of Mount. They just sent what's his face to join Pulisic at AC Milan. Yeah, they don't give a shit about that. All they want to do is win. And guess what? Chelsea aren't going to win because they are broken in half. They are bad. They are currently 14th. There is something inherently psychologically broken with that fucking team. So, listen, I understand that Howard might be carrying over some of the biases he felt when he was a player. And I'm sure there are still some inherent biases when you're a coach that ends up with a player you didn't really want because the owner's American. You're like, oh, man. Fuck. I don't like that's what happened when Pulisic went to Chelsea. The manager's like, I don't even know who this kid is. That's pathetic because the kid played at Dortmund. You should know who he is. But it wasn't something he requested. Well, that was
there were in times at Chelsea when Ziyech would get playing time over Pulisic, and you're like, what the fuck has he done in his limited playing time that warrants him a spot over Pulisic in this situation?
I mean, we're talking about a whole generation of players they bought that were broken as fuck. Havertz, Ziyech. I mean, good on other teams. Good on their national teams.
Werner.
Good at Leipzig. Bad at Chelsea. Good on the national team, too. Well, I mean, who's good on the national team for Germany except for when Rudi Völler just took the management job over there? And, of course, they beat France just recently, the other weekend. So, I mean, anyhow, the point being, I think that's becoming less and less of an issue. I really think most coaches are like, okay, yeah, your name's Pulisic. You're probably Croatian mostly anyhow, right? Oh, your dad's Croatian. I don't think they look at Pulisic as an American kid, like covered in Hershey's chocolate. They just think, he's a guy who can contribute on our team. And the coach wanted him, by the way, there. So I think that unless Pulisic spoils his own oatmeal, he should be pretty good, scooping up and eating oatmeal with honey in it all season long against really shitty teams at the bottom half of the Italian
it'll be fun.
Serie A.
I'm not overly concerned about that. Just to give, I guess, Howard his actual quotes, so we're not miscrediting what he might actually say here. I don't know if you want to read that.
I'll read it, but it does enhance what I said about Dempsey.
Sure.
If you're an American and you're playing in the Premier League, you better be good every day. Not for a year, not for a game, because as much as some people on the couch want to say, oh, the landscape has changed for Americans, it has not. I think Christian Pulisic did a brilliant job when he was called upon in the Chelsea team. If he was Dutch or Italian or anything else, he'd still be in the team. He wouldn't be the first one pulled off the pitch. He would have wouldn't be a substitute. He's that good, and he's showing that in Milan now, and I think he might be premature on that. And so as an American, it's tough.
Well,
you got to prove it every day. We'll see. He's going to get plenty of chances, Pulisic, to hold on to his starting job at AC Milan. And he's going to have to grasp it by the goddamn testicles and hold on for dear life. He's going to have to play well, Brett, because there's a guy right behind him dying to take his job who's coming off the bench for him, right?
Yeah.
Who's highly touted, by the way. A
Sure.
highly touted player. So a lot of people were thinking he wouldn't be starting from day one. Well, he did get to start. Pioli did decide to start him. And he's been the starter thus far. But you put any more ghost performances in, and it's not just him. The whole fucking team sucked. Rat ass. Yeah.
Well, then that's the thing, though, right? I mean, if the team as a whole sucked donkey balls, why is it that Pulisic's the first to get pulled out? Even though I understand that he ghosted, and not saying that he did anything better than anybody else. I'm just saying, why would this person be, pulled out initially and then left off the starting, say, and the Champions League game coming up here over anybody else?
He might be.
Why is it him?
I'm going to tell you why. Because he's an attacker. He was given multiple opportunities in that game to do something. And instead of doing anything or attempting to do anything, he just kicked the ball backwards. That's not the Christian Pulisic I know. And I don't ever want to see that again. And I hope that he knows he's going to get opportunities or there will be games where he's only going to get a handful of those chances. And he's got to do something with it because he has the abilities to do so. I don't want him to force it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling him to force it. I just want him on occasion.
Yeah, no means no, Derek.
So anyhow, we'll see. I just don't want him to ghost. But then again, the whole team was awful. The defense was just atrocious.
I mean, we've seen games where Pulisic is ghosted. It's definitely in his repertoire. I'm not saying that he's not incapable of ghosting and probably shouldn't be benched from time to time. But I'm just saying that if the problem is that at Chelsea, that now AC Milan in the situation, who knows? I'm not saying it's going to be a consistent issue. But I was just saying, why is it him? Why is it always him?
Well, listen, if he plays like he did against Uzbekistan going forward, he's going to be out.
Yeah.
All
Agreed.
right?
Agreed. Hell, even against Oman. I'll give you that much on that front.
Yeah. I mean, he got better against Oman, but it still wasn't,
I think
life-changing.
everybody played better against Oman is the problem. Larry's asking if I jerked off to Bradley after Cueva. No.
Kuvo.
Sorry. Better. You say potato, I say potato.
Why would Larry be asking if you jerk off Bradley after Kuva?
That is strange. It is strange, Larry, because I'm not sure why you brought Bradley up in this equation. I haven't talked about Bradley in years.
Michael or the coach
Michael,
Bob?
Well, Bob wasn't there.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It had been Michael. I was a massive Bradley defender for a healthy chunk of the Bob Bradley era.
Yeah.
So people would always bag on Michael, and I'm like, I was always the defender. No, I hadn't talked about him since that cycle. And
but guess what? As soon as it was pretty clear that Michael Bradley had lost it, we said so.
Once he made his trip back to the States is when he lost it.
Yeah, we saw a steep decline once he started playing in Toronto. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, absolute decline in just general play. So, the first couple of years were all right, but
Larry, I haven't jerked it to Michael Bradley in a long time, so it's okay.
Yeah, that old picture used to have a Bradley wearing that wig with lipstick on.
Yeah, that's right.
Man,
that might have been added. Just make it an easier wink.
He barely needed any fucking lube for that. This little spit. It was so hot.
15 seconds later. Good.
All right. Speaking of which, I think we're done for the night, folks. It was a lot of fun. Huh?
So that's all I got.
That's all, folks. Hey, listen, thank you for showing up, for watching the show, for liking the show, for contributing to the show. We're going to be here. We're going to continue to be here to tell you our truths. They might not be yours. I hate that thing, though. It's like, I'm speaking
That's my truth, Derek.
I'm speaking my truth. No, we're trying to give you some sort of objective fact, knowing that there is a subjective bias inside all of us. We all have it. The battle is to be subjective as much as possible and try to be the transparent eyeball, knowing that we all have inherent biases. But if you're locked into those, you'll never change. You can continue to think that the people who are your superiors and the elites in our society and the mainstream media are on your side. And I can tell you, quite frankly, since I've worked with a lot of them, they're not. They think you're idiots. Trust me.
It was it's Derek's truth that there's nothing wrong with stripping his stepsister.
Correct. I'm glad Brett brought that up, because there is nothing wrong with stripping your stepsister as long as it's consensual. And depending on the circumstances, you either inform the family that you're dating, or you're doing it in secret and waiting for the right time to inform the family. So make sure that's how you do it. There's a process, folks. Keep that in mind. And until the next time on the Straight Red Card, buy some of these. Just go to the link in the bottom and make sure you hit like and subscribe. We love you, and we'll be back on Thursday. Good night.
But she's a trap. She's an unsung novel. Turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on the line, or a phone call with or without wine.
That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm
The articulate and intelligent
Greg's a bitch.